everyone, and welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. This is my second video with the 9 lives set. Last time I made the little waterfall card with the cat, if you remember, where you just pull the little tab and the card cascades down. And today I'm going to make a little treat bag. It's a little bit dark here in Cochrane today, so I've got all the lights on and it's a bit shadowy, so I hope you can still see okay. So this is what I'm going to make today, and these are going to be the Valentines little treats for my co-workers. And I've got the little cat on, and I did the stamping for the stripes on this one as well. I just used the pale grey stamping, and I used the True Love has 4 paws and the little tiny hearts. So I'll show you how to make these. They are so quick and so simple. So first of all, you need one of the gusseted bags, and these bags are 3 inches by 6 inches. I know it's difficult to see on camera when it's a clear bag, but they're just the perfect size for treats. I used a lot of them at Christmas for my craft fairs. And what you need to do to start with is just to open the bag, and at the bottom, because they're gusseted, they have this little fold over piece, and it folds so that it's sort of flat and like a little rectangle at the bottom. And I always just put my glue in just to sort of push it down and make sure the corners are made so that the little bag stands up. Let's just do that corner there. And the little bag will stand up on its own if you want it to. So that's the first thing you do. The next thing you do is find a piece of DSP, or you can use card if you want. I've used the Gingham Gala on here, the lemon lime twist with the lovely lipstick card. But for this one, I'm going to use some of the Subtles paper. And this is the Subtles. It comes so that you have a striped side and like a small stripe and a dotty side. You have 2 pieces of that. And then you have a wider stripe and larger dots. And I'm going to use the piece with the larger stripes and larger dots. And what you need to do is cut it so that it's 3 inches wide. So just cut it right down the middle. And then for one of the pieces, we're going to trim it to 5 inches long. So just cut that 1 inch off. We don't need that. And then on the other piece, what you need to do is to score it at 1 inch. So I'm just going to put it back on the trimmer, and instead of using the cutting blade, I'm just going to go across with the scoring blade. And that's all the cutting that we need. Now, what's the most difficult is deciding whether you want the dots or the stripes. And I don't quite know what I want. I'm going to go with the stripes, I think. So on the scored piece, I'm going to fold that score over, and I'm just going to put some glue on there. You can use fast fuse, or if you still have fast fuse. I've got lots, as you know, because I bought it when it was being discontinued. But today I'm using the liquid glue because it's so simple. You don't need much, and when you line things up, if they're not quite straight, the glue has some give in it until it dries. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over, and that makes a kind of a tent shape. You could use 12 by 12 paper, but the paper that I wanted only came in 6 by 6. If you use 12 by 12, just be careful if you have a pattern, because the back side, the pattern will be upside down. So if your pattern runs this way, once you fold it, it will be upside down. So that's the basis for the decoration for the bag. Now what I've done is taken one of our punches and punched this hole, and I punched it with the 1 3/4 inch circle. I find punches much quicker to use, so that's why I tend to use them a lot. But if you have the framelets instead, you can use that. And actually, I'm not sure I did use that one. Yes, I did use 1 3/4. I beg your pardon. Just going a bit mad here. Okay, so you can see that the paper lines up beautifully in the punch, and there's nothing excess on either side, then you know you've got it in the middle. Okay, and we're not going to use that, but I am going to save it because I have lots of these little circles that I use as back-in pieces in different cards, and I'm sure I'll be using that sometime. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is make the little piece of card that goes round here. So I need a piece of the Highland Heather, and I'm going to cut out with that same punch that we've punched the hole with, this 1 3/4. I'm going to punch that out, and I'm keeping the circle of the Highland Heather as well. And then with my 2-inch punch, I'm going to line it up so that it looks like an even border all the way round. That's a little bit wider at that side. Let's move that down. Punch that out, and that's going to be our little rim for around here. So a little bit of liquid glue. Don't think this one's wanting to work today. I had bingo night with my ladies on Friday, and a lot of the glues were sort of got a little bit empty. So we did bingo, and we made 3 make and takes and drank lots of wine and had lots of fun. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over that little hole, and it will be the perfect size. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is to stamp the picture of our cat, and I've already done that. And then I used the secondary stamping, and I used the stripes. You can use the little patchy one. I don't know what that's called for cats, but I used the stripes, and I stamped in Memento Black, and this was the smoky slate that I went over it with. When you're lining this up, I found it best to line up from the face so that you know you've got the ears right and the whiskers right, and then last of all to line up the tail, and that way you know you've just got them on the right place. Because the first time I did it, I thought the little stripe went right down to the bottom of his paw, and I just couldn't get it lined up, and then I realised it didn't go there at all. So just line up with the head and his tail, and you'll be good to go. Okay, then I'm just going to cut him out, pop him in here and line him up. And I'm just making sure that I've got the same border all the way around. There isn't as big a border round the face, so just make sure you've got that. And it does trim a little bit of the whiskers off, so don't worry when you take out your paper and you say, oh no, I didn't get his whiskers. It does cut a little bit of that off. It isn't because you didn't line it up properly, it's because it does cut it off. Now, a little bit of glue on the back, whatever glue you want. Come on, Mr. Glue. Oh, there we are. And I only put a couple of little dabs on his tail. And I put him just at the right-hand side here, so that he's not dead at the top, just a little bit down, but off to the right. Okay, so now it's time to fill our treat bag. And because this paper is the purple paper, I'm going to put purple high chews in. And I'm just going to put half a dozen in. You can put whatever candy you like in. It's a really good size for like the little Hershey bars, or the little treat size bars, and the boxes of Smarties, and you know they come with Coffee Crisp or Kit Kat, Mars bars, any of those, they would fit in there as well. So, but today I've just got the high chew because it's a matching colour. Okay, and then I'm just pulling the sides in a little bit, make it sit back down again. And then we just slide the paper in. So slide it in at the front. You'll notice that on the sides, I've left the edges still folded. I haven't pulled the bag right open. And that way the paper just slides down nicely. And then I'm going to turn it over and pop this side in. Oh, it doesn't want to go in. Let's stand it up a bit and do it. There we go. Just push it all the way down. Escaping candy. Okay. And then what I did was I just pushed the edges of the bag inside the tent flap. And that way it holds the bag nicely. There we go. Oh, now my candy's not looking the right way. Oh, come on, Mr. High Chew. I want to see your name. There we are. Just push it in at the sides, and you'll see the bag stays on its own. We are actually going to put a staple through it, but it would stay on its own if you needed it to. Okay. And I'm going to cut a little bit, excuse me, of the purple ribbon. This was the Highland Heather ribbon that we got from Celebration, where you get the 5 rolls for free when you spend $60. So I'm loving this ribbon. I've used it on so many projects already. Okay, push that down, and then I'm just going to fold the little piece of ribbon over and hold it together and just staple it. And that will keep the bag closed as well. Let's put this ribbon back because we don't need any more. And time for our sentiment. So I've got myself some, let me see where I've hidden it. Here it is. I've got myself some Whisper White card, and I'm going to use the same little sentiment that I used on the first one, the one that says true love has 4 paws. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle and hold it for a second or two, just to make sure the ink transfers beautifully. And I'll just wipe this little one down. And then I need the lovely lipstick ink, because that's such a nice colour for the hearts. I'll open that up. And to make sure that the hearts are in the right place, what I used was a little template that I have. Let me see, I've got another one. No, I've only got this one. And this is the same size as the circle I'm going to cut out. So this is 1 3/4. And I just sort of laid it over the top of the writing and got my hearts, because I didn't want to put them in a space and then cut out with my circle punch and find the hearts weren't on there. And then I just held the hearts on. And I know then that I've captured it in the right place and they're not going to be chopped off or chopped in half or anything. Oops. Right, we won't need the ink anymore. And then I'll get my circle punch. That's too big. Where's the 1 3/4? Here it is. Okay. And then I'm going to put it in the punch. See where I like it. It's not quite straight. There we go. Punch it out. And with the Starburst punch, I've cut out on the Highland Heather card just one of these to use as the backing. Let's glue these two together. Oh, it's getting darker and darker. I think it's going to snow any minute. I think that's why it's getting so dark. So I hope you can still see and it's not too shadowy. And then on the back of here, I'm going to put 2 dimensionals, and I'm going to put them fairly low down, because when I stick this on, it's going to protrude over the top of the bag, and I don't want you to get little sticky pieces on the back. So I'm just going to put it near the bottom, near where the writing is. Take off the backs. And pop this on at an angle. There we go. And that's my second little treat bag all finished. See, they're so quick to make and they look so cute. And so there we are. the 2 that I've made so far, ready for my co-workers. If you'd like any help, or if you've missed the dimensions or anything, send me a quick message and I'll send you the information that you need. If you'd like to order any of the products that I've used today, also send me a message, or you can go onto the Stampin' Up website and look for demonstrators, and you'll see that my name comes up, Diane Hutchinson for Cochrane. So I would love to be your demonstrator for you. And if you have any questions at all about Stampin' Up, please feel free to ask me. Thanks so much, everybody. And Jane Scott, I hope you like the second thing I made with the little cats. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.